Disclaimer. The views in this video do not actually represent the real values of the creator. This is all in good fun. Enjoy getting your cheeks clapped. So, you think your DAW is the best, do you? Well, I'm here to tell you why your DAW sucks. Let's go ahead and get right into it, but before we do, make sure that ass is subscribed. Hey yo, FL Studio, you up first, or as most people say, FL Studios. For people who like to pretend they're masters at music theory only to find out they use MIDI editor and scale modes. Sorry bro, but just because you know how to use a Lydian scale by looking at a screen does not make you an expert. Why do you have so many tabs? You're stuck in the loop, literally. Your name is a loop. You raved about how it's the best, but secretly complained that it can't do a ton of easy stuff that other DAWs can't do. Sorry, inserts. You need more than that. Don't know what to do from there? Looks like you need to bus. Why is it so complicated to do the most simple things? Where are your modulators? You need an LFO. Sorry man, but that peak controller ain't gonna cut it. Let's face it, you only got into the DAW because it was the easiest to pirate, yet you brag about free updates for life. How often do they update FL Studio anyways? At least the plugins are pretty. Ableton? More like Disableton. Yeah, low-hanging fruit, I know, leave me alone. Only the loyalist people haven't moved on to Bitwig, and that's because they're afraid they're going to like Bitwig better. Unless you're in the 1% of people that use Max for Live, you're too scared to let go. Freezing and flattening is archaic as hell, reflects your choice paralysis when you open this ugly-ass GUI. I mean, look at it. It looks like Microsoft Excel. It's hideous. You probably Googled what DAW does Skrillex use only to find out that you actually can't be Skrillex. Still waiting for the people to defend their terrible Live 11 update that pretty much said, hey, we could be Bitwig too, plus a little FL thing on the side. The only people who use Session View are the DJs who only press one button to launch a clip as their entire set. Expansion packs are way overpriced. They finally fixed that pitch bend clip bug. GarageBand. You're the guy who just switched to Mac and are trying to show how you're a producer now that you have a piece of music software. You probably have no idea how to record or sound design and you're asking your friends to listen to the Apple loops you threw together in 5 minutes. Good luck on your musical career. Logic Pro. Probably the most illogical DAW for its name. It's GarageBand Pro with some terrible old first-party plugins. I mean, look, whoa, Jesus, that's hideous. I hate that you bought Camel Audio and now none of the new generation can legally get Camel Fat. You were bullied into the Apple ecosystem and I'm judging you for it. I'll admit, your space designer is cool. But aside from that, your workflow is as interesting as watching two broke girls on a Wednesday night after you made your lame-ass TV dinner. Spice up your diet and your DAW. Keith. Reason. The only reason anyone mentions Reason is if you're the Whittler. Hi, Jan. Protostar or Cohen Sound, to which I'd laugh at you when you discovered they moved on to Ableton. Toblerone. If you're a routing nerd, then you're also a freaking masochist who likes to play I Spy and do everything on ultra hard mode. Quit living in the past. At least VCV Rack is easier to backtrack since you can see the entire layout. Reason Rack is linear and requires ridiculous scrolling to where it looks like alien spaghetti hanging from your maelstrom set. This is a terrible design idea, and learning to sidechain with this abomination makes these other dolls look like kid toys. You might as well get down with the Waves aesthetic, and since you like that boring ass analog look too, it's 2021 for sake. CUBASE. Why is the entire program so damn complicated? I don't care that you're big on comping. I'm not comping until I can't figure out the damn program. Only the wokest minds know how to use this software. It is hella complicated to do the simplest tasks. I saw your latest update, by the way. You got a multi-band compressor. Ableton commends you for finally making it to the party. Say hello to OTT for me. Why anyone would use any of Cubase's outdated synths with the exception of Pad Shop is anyone's guess. And let's not forget one of the most annoying things about your Mr. Dongle little dongle pants. This is one of the most annoying things you could do to your customer. Surely you could find a better way to protect your software outside of iLok. iLok should die in a fire or come with a USB hub for my troubles. The only way I'd use Cubase is if Noisia or Rawtech took me under their wings and said, hey, I'll show you the way. Reaper. You have the coolest name and the ugliest interface I've ever seen. Where are the Reapers? I need some grim with my tunes. Don't even get me started on your plugin and GUIs, or rather lack of. This is the DAW you buy after feeling guilty about pirating FL Studio, so you buy the cheapest alternative. I heard it's supposed to be good for gaming since it runs scripts and pythons, but I felt a boa constricted when I tried to do my sound design processing. Can't lie though, that FX plugin embedding is pretty cool. More DAWs should do that. MPC Studio. If you still use MPC today, you're one of those producers who think they're professional because you learn how to flip samples and that's all you'll ever be. A basic loop building sample flipper. You probably overuse the played out term, I took a sample and chopped it up, and still think wearing a hat that's sideways is cool. Nobody cares about your MPC swing anymore, and halftime and lo-fi guys have surpassed your grooves. Machine, you're a wannabe MPC producer that only makes songs by switching around one of the Native Instruments pre-made songs from their overly priced expansion packs because learning to make your own loops was too hard. You also only use the presets from Massive and probably don't even finger drum. You just use the sequencer and turn the little pad lights on. You bought the Machine Studio to use with complete control and got frustrated that your 128GB MacBook Pro can't store all that complete content for an incomplete experience. But hey, at least it looks shiny in your bedroom studio. LMMS/traction/cakewalk. Hey, ain't nobody take you serious, dog. I don't care if you free, if you cheap, whatever, you're terrible. Pro Tools, another dongle disaster. Only later to go subscription-based, the incredibly overpriced software that only caters to live recording and mastering with hideous plugins. Boomers still love it though. You only use this because money came easy to you and you heard this was an industry standard, which makes you industry stupid for buying the hype. One of your selling points is you come with Falcon 2, one of the most difficult pieces of audio software to learn. You for real? I've never seen a drum and bass tune produced on Pro Tools, and there's a reason why. I avidly avoid this software. Bitwig Studio, your subscription model sucks. So do a lot of your first-party effects. Actually, a lot of your first-party plugins are mediocre as heck. At least you were smart enough to include an effect splitter, which no one else has done before. If I wanted to make a generator for birds, I would probably not reach for Tree Monster. So what if I could technically make anything with the effects and modulators? I ain't got the time for that. You're stuck in Ableton Shadow even though you've evolved all the best things about Ableton's workflow except for Max for Live. You're probably also a shroom head since you like playing with the colorful grid and have no idea what you're doing unless you're a wizard like Polarity. You should subscribe to him, he's cool. This is the nerdiest of Daw'S. You can break anything. It really shows how lonely of a person you are when you try to show off your insanely modulated rack that nobody cares about. You're almost on version 4 and still have no themes or alternate skins, and you can't even select times properly on the grid, and you gotta do it 20 times before you press undo just to get it right. Fix your time selection, select a selecty thing. Bitwig Studio. Studio 1. Seems like where all the Pro Tools guys finally wised up and made yet another mistake. Heard you have some major CPU issues, pal. Not to mention that host sync issue with external plugin. You can't even control your VSTs. There's hardly any manual on how to learn the program. You just expect people to know how to use you. Who you think you are, fam? You don't have the same rep as Pro Tools to be slipping like that, fam. Better get your act together if you want to be #1. But from my point of view, you got a long ways to go. So that's it, y'all. Hope y'all have fun listening to me clap all your Daw'S cheeks. If you enjoy this kind of content, please do me a favor and like and subscribe for my boy Alckemy. Let me know what's your most annoying DAW to talk about. Is everybody too entitled? You too passionate about your piece of software? Are you a salty type of person? Let me know what's good. That's the end of the video.